Hi everyone, it's Peter Gay
and Allan,
and we're from My Cruising Family, and today we're going to share with you steps that we took to make sure that we would enjoy a Magic Kingdom bridal portrait session with Disney Fine Art Photography for our 10th anniversary vow renewal. We're sharing this so that if you're planning a Disney wedding or Disney vow renewal on Disney Cruise Line or any Disney property, you'll know how to go about getting this photo session, this portrait session for you and your spouse as well. Join us.
Imagine going to Magic Kingdom and having the whole park to yourself.
No, we don't have to imagine. We did it. We did that when we planned our 10th anniversary vow renewal cruise on the Disney Fantasy. We added a Magic Kingdom photo session, a bridal portrait session to be specific, with Disney fairy tale weddings. Well, sort of. It was actually through Disney Fine Art Photography, and we spoke with our Disney fairy tale weddings planner to figure out how to go about doing that. So basically, I reached out to Disney Fairy Tale Weddings to set up our vow renewal. So that's the first step, right? If you are interested in a private bridal portrait session at either Magic Kingdom, Animal Kingdom, Hollywood Studios, or Epcot, then first you need to actually plan your Disney wedding. Now, I believe that these photo sessions, portrait sessions, are open to people who would like to have portraits at Walt Disney World. However, I know for a fact that Disney brides have the priority. So with the priority being a Disney bride from my Disney Cruise Line vow renewal, I'm considered a Disney bride for having any sort of Disney wedding or vow renewal. We were given a priority to have our portrait session at Magic Kingdom. That was the park that we chose. And you can also have additional parks added. Some people do Magic Kingdom and Epcot, Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom, Magic Kingdom and Hollywood Studios, or just any kind of mixing and matching of the parks. But we wanted Magic Kingdom. So Allan, I know I'm talking a lot about it, and we wanted and I did, but how did you feel about the park shoot? Before I get into the steps to get you there, how did you feel about the park shoot?
Like I said, it was incredible. Just having the whole park to yourself and just going wherever and just having your pictures taken, it was a wonderful experience.
Never saw Magic Kingdom like that before, and I haven't seen it like that since. But here we go. So first step, plan your Disney fairy tale wedding. So if you are a cruise bride like I was, even though it was our vow renewal, but they consider you their bride and groom. That's how they treat you. If you're a cruise bride like I was, go ahead and reach out to your planner. So once you have solidified that you are going to plan a Disney cruise, vow renewal, or wedding, you will get assigned a planner. At the time that we were planning, the planners were Stephanie and Faith. Faith had all the Disney Dream ceremonies, and Stephanie had all the other ships ceremonies. So Stephanie was our planner, and that's because we did our vow renewal on the Disney Fantasy. So I reached out to Stephanie after completing my steps to plan the vow renewal, which that will be in a separate video about the vow renewal specifically. But I reached out to find out how we go about getting the park shoot, the bridal portrait session, and Stephanie answered, and we are so happy she did. And I reached out then to Disney Fine Art Photography. That's who actually handles the photo session at Magic Kingdom, Animal Kingdom, Epcot, and Hollywood Studios. So there's an entire website that we will link here that you can go check out, Disney Fine Art Photography. And pretty much from there, they set everything up. I had to complete a form that was called a discovery form. And on that form, I'm gonna look down just to make sure that I give you the right information. On that form, the questions included: is there anything that you would like the photographer to know about you prior to your session? Are there specific shots you are looking for us to capture? During your session, we will capture a variety of photos and locations. Is there a specific style you are interested in? And are you planning to bring any small props to incorporate into your portrait session? Now, as you all may know, if you don't know, I'm throwing up some photos here as we speak to you. we had a parasol, a little umbrella that said we still do, and so I told them about that. We also had a shoe that was blinged out to celebrate our 10th anniversary. I told them about that. So all of that was on the discovery form ahead of time. And so you can really map out, just like Disney Imagineers, pretty much everything from their parks to their stories to their movies to their shows. You can Imagineer your portrait session, and that's what I loved about this. So again, looking down at my notes, just so you all know, Ali was our photographer, and Ali was my first choice. Do you remember how excited I was when we found out who the photographer was?
Yes, you were.
And he didn't research all of it, but when you met Ali and saw also his assistant Jackson, yeah, they were awesome. Jackson is also a photographer with Disney Fine Art Photography, and so they double team when they're doing your photos. And so we had Ali as our prime photographer, Jackson assisted, and Magic Kingdom actually has 3 routes to choose from. So I want to run through that with you. I'm looking at my notes, so if you see my eyes going down, it's because my notes are right in front of me, because I wanted to get everything that I could get before you so that you could actually plan this out for yourself. We will highly, well, I would highly, do you highly recommend?
Yes, I do.
Highly recommend a Magic Kingdom or whichever park you choose, Disney Fine Art Photography Bridal Portrait Session.
Guaranteed it is going to be magical.
Magical, honestly. And not just cliche, like not cliche. It was probably the most magical. I mean, I feel bad. Our wedding was obviously magical, right? But this took the cake.
Mm-hmm.
So as I was saying, Magic Kingdom has 3 route options, and they all 3 routes include the castle. So you will not have a fine art photography bridal session that doesn't include the castle. You will have your castle. What it is the additional spots for photos are different depending on the route, because Magic Kingdom is a big park and you don't have the entire morning. You do get there before rope drop, but you do have a time allotted. So route 1 would be Prince Charming, Regal Carousel, Mad Tea Party, and the Wishing Well. Route 2 is the Enchanted Tales with Belle, Be Our Guest, and Under the Sea locations. For us, we had Route 3, which included Pirates of the Caribbean, Haunted Mansion, and Rapunzel's Tower, but we wanted to focus on Pirates of the Caribbean.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we're my cruising family. So that was our focus. We actually started at Pirates and then went over to the castle. So those were really the 2 spots that we did, but that's because that's what we wanted. So again, you can put that sort of thing on the discovery form. Now the details. This was early, guys, like early in the morning. We arrived in Orlando close to midnight, and we took the Disney's Magical Express that still existed back then to our Disney Hotel Caribbean Beach Resort. I immediately hopped in the shower to get ready for when my beauté spéciale makeup person would arrive to do my face for my Magic Kingdom portrait session. Allan, my mom, and the boys were knocked out. They went to sleep. It was a long day, and we arrived in Orlando around midnight. So I think we got to the hotel around 1 in the morning, or close to 1 by the time we got to our room anyhow. And yeah, we had to get ready for our 5:30 a.m. pickup from Caribbean Beach Resort to get to Magic Kingdom for 6 a.m. to do the photo session, the portrait session before rope drop. So that's the timing you're looking at if you're considering a Disney Fine Art Photography bridal portrait session. It is absolutely worth it. I was tired. We all were, but I know I was tired because I was the one who got no power nap in between. But I still say it's absolutely worth it. As I said, you can Imagineer your portrait session. You can Imagineer your entire wedding or vow renewal, because this is Disney, right? We wanted to start where our fairy tale started, which was our wedding day. So we're 10 years later, and Allan and I decided to wear our original wedding attire. Yes, my original wedding dress and
my original tux.
Yep, and they still fit after all those years, 10 years. But anyway, I actually did get some adjustment on the top of my dress so that it could zip. But anybody had to know that, even though I just told all of y'all. But I didn't have to travel with my bulky wedding dress to Orlando from New York. I actually already had a new gown for the vow renewal. So we didn't wear the new gown, or I didn't wear the new gown for the portrait session. That was saved for the vow renewal, and he had not seen it, kind of just like a wedding day. That was gonna be a surprise for him for the vow renewal. So he didn't see that one, and I traveled with that one, the vow renewal dress. But for the portrait session in Magic Kingdom, and you can do this for any of the parks, again, I keep reiterating that we chose Magic Kingdom. That was our choice, and you have a choice to Imagineer it, do it. For us, I shipped the original wedding gown to Allan and I's, which is a wonderful bridal shop, a wonderful boutique that takes care of this on a regular basis. I actually found out about them from the Disney Wedding podcast that I followed and watched and listened to. Well, not watched, there's no actual video, but I did go through. There's lots of pictures, there's lots of audio, and lots of pictures from all the Disney brides that have been featured there. And I'm thankful that we actually were featured after our vow renewal. And so I learned of Allan and I's from listening to podcasts, the Disney Wedding podcast. And I reached out to info@carolanallens.com, I believe is the email, and I'm going to put it in the description box. Shipped the dress, got all the details on how to ship, what was expected, and how and when it would be delivered to our resort at Disney World, Disney Caribbean Beach Resort. And it worked. It was so pleasant dealing with Allan and I's. It was really pleasant dealing with everyone for our vow renewal. We were so pleased with our photographer, Ali. Now, I can tell you, I have no idea if Ali is still with Disney Fine Art Photography. I know that I looked at a bunch of different samples of photographs that a lot of the photographers who did bridal portrait sessions had posted on the website. And I know that between their website and the Dis Brides board on Facebook and just any and everything that I saw with Disney Fine Art Photography, Ali was my number one pick for a photographer, and he did not disappoint. Do you remember Ali getting on the ground at Magic Kingdom to get some of those shots?
Yes, I remember.
Listen, you just got to do it. I mean, you don't have to. I hate telling people you just got to do it because nobody has to do anything. You don't even have to be sitting here listening to us, but because you are, and I know you're considering a Disney Fine Art Photography bridal portrait session, or you're just interested in knowing how it works so that you can be informed to tell somebody else, I have to let you know that it is that magical. The photographers are just like if you've had any Disney encounter where you know they go above and beyond for service for the guest. The same with the photographers. It was wonderful.
So guys, if this is your wife's desire and it is within reach, just do it. Because if it is one thing you don't want to have, is regrets.
You heard the man. So we hope that this video is helpful to you. And if there is any question at all about how you can go about planning your portrait session for your Disney wedding or vow renewal, go ahead, send us a message, comment below, and we will get back to you. Promise.